Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we will be talking about the middle ear cavity. So in this part, I'm going to explain about the introduction and in a series way, we're going to complete this middle ear cavity. Now let us get into the topic. This middle ear cavity is also called the tympanic cavity, right? Called the tympanic cavity. And where is this tympanic cavity or the middle ear cavity located? It is located in the petrous part of the temporal bone. So what is the petrous part of the temporal bone? This is a section. So whenever you take a cranial cavity like this, so this part which you can see the prominent see like transverse things here, this is called the petrous part of the temporal bone. So this is the place where you can find the middle ear cavity. Okay, now coming to the communication. So what actually a middle ear is? A middle ear cavity or a tympanic cavity, it's an air-filled cavity that is lined by the mucous membrane and is located in the petrous part of the temporal bone. And in front, it is communicated with the lateral wall of the nasopharynx. So, I have already told you about the nasopharynx. If you haven't checked the video, please do it now. So, in the features of the lateral wall of the nasopharynx, you can find the opening of the auditory tube. So, that is what? So, this middle ear cavity communicates anteriorly with the lateral wall of the nasopharynx by means of the auditory tube and posteriorly with the mastoid antrum by means of the adytum. I'll tell you what is adytum and all. So, okay, for timing, remember anterior communication with the lateral wall of the nasopharynx by the auditory tube and posteriorly with the mastoid antrum by the adytum. Okay, next. So, what actually the shape? So, this is the long axis section when you take. So, it appears like a pistil. So, it appears like a pistil whose where the body is formed by the tympanic cavity and the handle is formed by the mastoid antrum. And whenever you take a coronal section, it appears like a biconcave disc structure in the sense it is compressed in the center and is a bit free at the peripheral. So whenever you take the measurements, anteroposterior is 15 micrometer and superior to inferior 15 mm in the sense millimeter. So in the upper part 6, middle 2, it is highly compressed in the center, and again at the peripheral you again will be having 4 mm. This is the shape and the measurement. Now let us go to the contents of the middle ear cavity. So what are all the contents there? You can find the ear ossicles, and these ear ossicles will be having some ligaments by which they are connected, that is the ligaments of the ear ossicles, and will be having two muscles, two nerves. What are those two muscles? Tensor tympani, the name itself tells it is tensing the tympanic membrane, and the stapedius muscle. And the two nerves are the chordae tympanae and the tympanic plexus. Now coming to the other thing is the vessels which are supplying the ear ossicles. All these comes under the contents of the middle ear cavity. Now coming to the subdivisions of the middle ear cavity. So this so whenever you look at this diagram, this is the tympanic membrane. So the subdivisions of the middle ear cavity is done based upon the tympanic membrane. The part of the middle ear cavity above the tympanic membrane is called the epitympanus. The epitympanus, in the sense it is present above this part, this entire part is epitympanus that is located above the tympanic membrane. Now what are all the contents? The head of the malleus, the body of the incus and the short process of the incus. It includes the incudomalleolar joint. This incudomalleolar joint is a saddle variety of the synovial joint. Now coming to the next part, next division, it is just opposite to the tympanic membrane, that is called the mesotympanum. What is that? Mesotympanum, that is present opposite to the tympanic membrane, will be containing the long process of the incus and the entire stapedius. Okay, and the entire stapes bone. So what is the content here? You find the long process of the incus and the stapes. It includes the incudostapedial joint. And the other division is the hypotympanum. This is the hypotympanum. This hypotympanum is a part of the middle ear cavity that is present beneath the tympanic membrane. So above epitympanum, opposite mesotympanum, and below hypotympanum. So this is all about the middle ear cavity. So once again, a normal revision about the middle ear cavity. It is an air-filled cavity that is lined by the mucous membrane located in the petrous part of the temporal bone. And it will be having three divisions. In the long axis appear like a pistil, and in the coronal section appear like a biconcave disc. And the contents are so like two muscles, two nerves, ear ossicles, ligaments of the ear ossicles, and the vessels supplying the ear ossicles. Okay guys, that's it with the video. If you like, please do share it with all your friends, and do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.